Hey everyone, welcome to my video, and in this video I'm going to promote my books about For You Get a Lot to Buy. So basically I bought this book myself. It's by me, James Moran, and this is the first book in the series about of the adventures of Bethwing, called Bethwing's Adventure, and the cover now is way cooler than this one, and I'll read you the back of it. This book is about the adventures of a Vietnamese American girl named Bethwing and her friends. This story starts off in New York City, and later on in the story, Beth and her friend, Beth finds a true love and moves to Vietnam for a couple of years. Later on in the story, Beth's husband gets shot and killed, and she gets heartbroken. Further on in this story, America elects the first Chinese American president who is popular among Americans. Near the end of the story, Elon Musk travels to the moon. So this is like the introduction of the book in the back. But happens and also brought the introduction in chapter 1 as well for you lot. By James Moran, and this is the first book that I have ever published. Inspired by an autistic, enthusiastic writer. And just let you know, all these books are R-rated, so they're not for kids or got mature content, such as bad language, drug references, sex references, so on. I'm going to read you the introduction. Bethwing's Adventure, Chapter 1, the introduction of the story. This story is largely based in the United States about an Asian American girl named Bethwing. I'm just going to have something to drink. We can't read in this. There is quite a lot of stuff in this story, also set in Vietnam later. Later in the story, her surname will be Phan. I think that's how you pronounce it. Phan, Phan or something. No, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a Vietnamese surname. For a short period, with brackets in it. All will be revealed later on. Okay, now the brackets are over in the introduction. But her maiden name is Rin. Beth has a sister named Lucy Rin, who will be revealed in chapter 16. The first part of the introduction for you. And here is the sequel, World War Rin. It's got a way cooler cover now than this one. I got the cover from AI, even though all my stories are 100% from my imagination. I read to the back of this, back of the cover. Another story by an enthusiastic autistic author, James T. Moran. Obviously, this is my name. This is on the back because I got it pre-forwarded last year, so I just read the introduction. I learned from my first book. This one's got the introduction, chapter 1, and it's the introduction, then it's chapter 1. I'm going to read you the introduction of this book. World War Rin, the sequel of Bethwing's Adventure, the introduction, recount on Bethwing's life. Description: Bethwing wears glasses, has black hair, with brown eyes, and is 5'4" inches tall. I think you know all this already. I'm going to go down to recap of current events in the introduction. Recap of current events. In 2023, the first Asian American president, Stephen Lew, was assassinated by Kim Jong-un just under 2 weeks into his second term, and his vice president, Jessica Rin, was sworn in as president. 2 months later, President Jessica Rin picked a parody singer who then became a US Senator, Milo Yankovic, who's a real person. But when I wrote these two stories, I had no idea shouldn't put real people into my stories. I didn't know this at the time. I don't do this in any of my I'm not going to do it in any of my future books. And in my most recent books I didn't do this. But you live and learn, you know. And this book here, this was the cover I had at the time. I changed the cover of it now on Amazon. Is The Adventures of Bethwing's Youth, which is the prequel to Bethwing's Adventure. I read the back before I read the introduction for you. The Adventures of Bethwing's Youth, the prequel to Bethwing's Adventure, the introduction to the story. This story is about Bethwing's early life when she was 9 in chapter 1, celebrating the new millennium with her parents. The first half of the story is about her life as a teenager up to Beth's life into her early 20s. Later on in the story, chapter 2 is going to start in October 2003, with Bethwing in art class at a middle school at the age of 13. By chapter 3, it will be September 2006, and Beth has just turned 16, ready for when she returns to high school in the 11th grade. Lucy Wynn, who is Beth Wing's sister, goes to an elementary school in Midtown Manhattan, and the Wynn family lives in Long Island City in Queens. By chapter 12, Beth Wing travels to university on her 18th birthday, and chapter 13 is set in 2009 about Beth's life at university at the age of 19. So yeah, that was the start of the introduction to my third book about the events of Beth Wing's youth. Right now, I lowered the price down from $9.99 to $9.69. This one's more expensive because the writing for when each character speaks are in different colours, so you know who's speaking. And the main character, Beth Wing, she's always or the colours all in red whenever she's speaking. I got off the colour scheme now, but when I first published writing these books, I put a colour scheme on the laptop for when different characters were speaking. And here's my picture of me in Amsterdam on the back of the book, as you can plainly see. I even also wrote this on the back of the cover, over here. The Adventures of Beth Wing's Youth is the third book in the Adventures of Beth Wing books I have written, and the first book in the series is called Beth Wing's Adventure, and my sequel is called World War Win. And then I put this at the bottom to warn people before buying the book. This book is aimed for a mature audience due to the ton of foul language, sexual content, some drug references, and acts and violence mentioned in this book. I put the word fuck just over 300 times in this book, and I think the word cunt is said in it about 4 or 5 times. Yeah, there's a shit ton of swearing in this book, so be aware before buying it. All I've swearing in these ones, I haven't got that on that bad on the language, but it's still there. Here's my other book, fourth book about, a picture of myself in Amsterdam on the back of the cover, and this is The Tale of Ashley Silverman, and she goes to the same university Beth Wing goes to, because all my books are set in the same universe. This is only £5.29, I believe, on Amazon. It might be even cheaper, so just go on and check my books on there if you're interested. I'll read you the introduction. Tale of Ashley Silverman, the introduction. Story introduction. This story is about a blonde Caucasian Jewish girl named Ashley Silverman, who was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Ashley eventually moves to another part of the country to escape all the crime in Detroit. Then further on in the story, she moves to Canada for just over a year. She moves to Montreal, just to be aware. Before moving back to the US, this story starts off with Ashley in high school. While Ashley is in high school, she gets picked on by some of the other students who are just jerks anyway. So there's bullying in both Ashley Silverman's teenage years and also Beth Wing's high school years. So yeah, they get bullied, unfortunately. That's what I just put my resignation to work, and that's what I came up with. And I wrote this just before Christmas time. This is the Christmas Horrors. This is on hardcover, and I saw you what it's like on paperback. Oh crap! Oh yeah, here's the book on paperback, and here's the book on paperback, guys. And these are the two covers. I think the cover's the same, but I changed all the other covers for all my other books. And there's my picture on the back. That was when I was 18. And there's the picture on the back on this one, the hardcover one. That's when I was 19 in New York. When I went on holiday there with my parents on vacation. And I wrote this on the back. A Christmas fantasy story published by an enthusiastic author. Let me get my breath. I'm getting so full. I need some tea in me. And I put this word in the back as well. This book is aimed for a mature audience, full stop, and then 18 plus. So you know you have to be 18 or over to read this because of the content, like all my other books. I'll read you the back cover, what happens in the story, the plot line. The Christmas Horrors is a story about the devil named I am trying to take over Christmas. First in New York, then further on in the story, Los Angeles, and then San Francisco. But Santa and Ethel, the elf, are on a mission to stop Adam and to save Christmas. So yeah, this is like a Christmas fantasy horror movie, and there's comedy in it as well. And this is only £3.99 now on Amazon on paperback if you're interested in buying it. I wanted to buy all my books because I put a lot of imagination into them. I'm just hyped and excited about having them on the Amazon finally. And this is another thing. I'll tell you now about my most recent book, which is called... Oh yeah, The Adventures of Sophia San Diego. Basically, I think that book is £5.45 on Amazon UK. And that's about a Hispanic woman named Sophia San Diego who grew up in Tijuana, Mexico, but now lives in America as a part-time maid. And later on in the story, her British friend Emma is worrying as hell because her mum, Maureen, gets kidnapped and she's held hostage in Queens, New York. And a close friend, who's also Mexican, living in America, gives Maureen the ransom money for her to be freed from the kidnappers. And then after that, I think it's a chapter after that, I believe, or 2 chapters after that. I believe it's 2 chapters after that in chapter 10. Or maybe 1 chapter, I can't remember. Sophia meets a time traveller named John at the subway in Amsterdam, and they travel the world for John and Sophia to change future history of an AI takeover of the world. And once that's over and done with, Sophia then travels to Aspen, Colorado, and this guy named, this British character named Donnie, also travels to Colorado Airport, but he makes a scene on the plane, and then the plane has to make an emergency landing in Michigan, and then he gets detained for a whole day, and then the US government send him back to the wrong country. He's from the UK, but they send him back to Colombia. Crazy story. And then, near the end of the story, there's an outbreak that happens on a plane from Ottawa, Canada to Seattle, USA, not long after the plane took off, and it sparks a new epidemic, and this is in 2020, and I created a virus based on COVID-19 called Volvid-20. So yeah, if you're interested in buying my stories and reading them, check them out on Amazon. Peace.